Hey there, thanks for tuning in for the top 7 rock cuts of the week. Here's the rocks that we'll be checking out today. We've got a really cool variety here, so I'm excited to show everybody these. Welcome back to all the current subscribers. I appreciate it very much. Welcome to any new folks to the channel. I hope you'll like this video too. All these rocks were self-collected in northern Nevada. Make sure to let me know your favorites down in the comments and any thoughts you might have, and let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, let's check out this rock. And what a cool exterior. So I didn't initially see how cool that green vein was, and I probably am going to do another cut to try to see if I can expose a little bit of that green vein on the inside. But regardless, I had seen this face and these patterns and thought that it looked interesting from that and wanted to take a look at the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. And that is really nice. We've got some brown and white and tans going on the inside. And I bet if I were to do a cut further back, that green vein might go through there, kind of like the brown one is doing there. And that might be neat. But anyway, we've got some nice patterns here. The fractures in the rock are interesting in the way that they've filled in, and there's kind of that white layer or area that's around that big crack that is mostly brown and running through the center, which is kind of neat. And then there's some lighter fractures running in the background as well. The rock is really nice quality and very unique coloration. Okay, let's check out this rock. So the first thing you probably notice is the color. So it's green, or mostly green, shades of green. And we can see it looks like it's made up of multiple materials. So possibly a green conglomerate here, or a green breccia of some sort. The green matrix is a bit porous, and as you can see, there's some larger cavities that are present in the stone as well. There's a few on this face that we're looking at here. So let's go ahead and cut this thing open. And that is pretty cool. So there are different pieces of different stones in there, and there's a black one top center, which is pretty interesting. And it looks like the black stone actually has other stones within it also, which is really cool. So this is a green conglomerate, and I think that's about all I can tell from this, but I haven't seen one that's quite like this. I've found matrix and other rocks that are similar shades of this green, but I don't think I found one that is a conglomerate mix like this. Really unique and really interesting. I like the colors. I'm not sure how it's going to polish up just because of the porosity of the green matrix, but it might turn out. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we can see that it's got a crystal and waxy exterior. There's some brown showing through, as well as some red and yellow, maybe iron staining, not totally sure, but it looked really neat, and it looked like there were possibly some white inclusions as well. So I always like the agate material because you never know what it's going to look like on the inside. Let's go ahead and take a look, and that is really cool. So we have a range of color going on from a very dark brown but still translucent on the outside edge of the rock, as we're looking at it here, to a very white color that's in a couple spots, but still translucent and a little bit milky in those spots. And those are what I thought might be the inclusions. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at the individual halves. And there's some banding going on. It's a bit chaotic, and there are some large white inclusions, as you can see, and not totally sure what those are, but it looks pretty cool. And the dark brown color on the outside is really neat also. Okay, let's check out this rock. So the lighting on this one was not great. The light colored material is actually kind of a bluish gray or a greenish gray. And as you can see, there's yellow and red that kind of is popping up throughout in the cracks and the crevices around the rock. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the interior, and that is really cool. Really neat red veins that are crisscrossing throughout the rock and very bright colored. And you can see a little bit there, especially towards the bottom left and bottom right of the rocks that it's a little bit bluish, and there's some gray that's mixed in throughout as well. And that's kind of what the exterior looked like in terms of the coloration, but the blue is really interesting here. And then there's sort of a yellow or tan streak that runs throughout a good portion of the middle section of the rock as well. But where the blue and the red and the white intersect, that's really nice and really unique. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, you can see what looks like maybe some Wonderstone banding or colors. We've got bright red, bright pink, some yellow as well. And as we get to this side of the rock, it looks like there's definitely a bit of banding going on, and the reds and the yellows look very bright. And let's take a look at the inside, and that is really cool. So this is definitely a Wonderstone. Wonderstone is a type of rhyolite, and the stuff around here has gone through secondary processes and is now a really nice, fine-grained, high-quality material. So here we can see the really nice pink and red banding, and that surrounding a yellow mountain is what it looks like to me. When they were both together, it looked like a nice landscape, and each individually kind of looks like its nice own little mountain there with the pink and red banding around it and the yellow in the center. This should polish up pretty well. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we can see that it's a white or off-white color. There's a bit of yellow on it as well, maybe a little bit of red, and there are what look like some dark veins that are spider webbing across the rock, especially that portion that we were just looking at. And that is really cool. The lines and veins that we saw on the outside are a lot more apparent on the inside here, and quite dramatic in how they segment the rock into different sections. Very pretty. Almost everything here is a shade of tan or white. There's what looks like a bit of breccia towards the left-hand part of the rock, and kind of where that meets the middle of the rock towards the top. And then the parallel bands on the left-hand side of this piece are really cool too. There's a little bit of red coloration as well towards the center of the rock, but mostly colorless. Really interesting piece. And last but certainly not least, we've got this rock. So from the outside, there's a bit of a desert patina, which you can see as the brownish yellow layer that is covering a good portion of the rock. You can see on this face, there's a darker color brown. It looks like there might be some banding going on. It was squarer than shaped than most of the stuff that I find, which was also interesting. This is a little bit better lighting, and the inside of this is not what I was expecting. I'm not sure what I thought it would be, but I've not seen something that looks quite like this. So there definitely is a lot of banding running there. The layers towards the right side here are light to dark brown, and then almost black for the upper portion of the rock. And it looks like there's some breccia in the lower bands. I might have to check this out under the microscope. Even though it doesn't exactly look like petrified wood, something about it looks like petrified wood to me for some reason. Let me know what you think down in the comments. All right, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a little preview of the rocks that we'll be looking at in the next video, except for one rock which got the boot because there is another rock that I just cut that looks so cool, I just had to get it into this video. So make sure you check out the next video. If you made it this far and you're not currently subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Of course, thank you as always to the current subscribers. Love to see you back and see you in the comments. And I will see you all next time.